In the dense tangled forest, where sunlight barely breaks through, wild boars find the perfect place to hide. Every year, they destroy nearly 800 tons of crops, causing millions of euros in damage to farmers across Germany. Their numbers are rising rapidly, and so is their aggression, turning them into an urgent threat that can no longer be ignored. In response, Thomas and his hunting team are called into action, stepping up to defend both the harvest and the people who depend on it. But going up against a smart and dangerous enemy like the wild boar is no ordinary task. So, how do they prepare? How do they strike? The intense battle that follows will reveal everything. At the break of dawn, swift footsteps moved quietly through the forest, sealing off every corner, leaving no path unchecked. As each hunter reached their assigned post, they stood ready, fully alert for the battle to come. They didn't have long to wait. A pack of wild boars suddenly emerged, snaking through the trees, heading straight toward Thomas. The moment he caught sight of them, he squeezed the trigger, dropping one instantly. The rest of the herd scattered in panic, crashing through the underbrush. But Thomas wasn't about to let them vanish without a fight. Without hesitation, he signaled the other positions, determined to stop the intruders once and for all. From another position, Leon spotted a wild boar on the run, darting across his line of sight. Without hesitation, he took a single precise shot. The target dropped instantly. A clean execution, completing his mission with flawless precision. Moments later, gunfire echoed from all directions, signaling that more fleeing boars had been taken down. The forest, once tense with movement, now settled into a quiet calm, restored if only slightly, by each well-placed shot fired with purpose. Meanwhile, Thomas was still on the move, tracking every sign, following fresh traces through the underbrush. After a short pursuit, his sharp eyes locked onto a wild boar, hiding silently among a tight cluster of trees. He took aim with care, and with one swift, decisive shot, he brought calm back to this part of the forest. Indeed, the title of the team's top marksman is no exaggeration. Nothing escapes Thomas's eye, and nothing gets a second chance. After a productive morning with a solid number of hogs taken down, Thomas and his team returned to camp to rest and recharge for the next mission. By 3 p.m., they were already back out, this time positioned on the southern hillside. Thomas quickly moved into place, scanning the terrain with sharp focus. Suddenly, the bark of a hunting dog broke the silence, snapping his attention toward the sound. His eyes locked in just as a massive wild boar emerged from the brush. Without hesitation, a single sharp crack echoed through the trees. The beast dropped instantly beside a nearby bush. A swift, clean takedown, powerful and precise, like a warning shot for whatever else might be lurking. Pushing deeper into the terrain, Thomas's eyes never wavered from the mission. Suddenly, a panicked boar burst out of the underbrush, sprinting blindly across his path. The moment was there, and Thomas pulled the trigger without delay. It was over in an instant. The last animal lay still on the gravel, motionless. Another season's crops, and the people who defend them, had just been safeguarded. As the last light of day faded beneath the dense canopy, a wild boar stepped into Leon's sights. Just a few gunshots echoed through the trees, and the target was instantly neutralized. A clean, decisive takedown. The perfect ending before nightfall settled in. What did you think of that final shot? Was it raw instinct, years of honed skill, or both? If it were you, do you think you could have pulled it off? Drop a comment below and let the team know what you think. Your support keeps us going. Today's journey ends in a convincing victory. This success was made possible thanks to the close coordination between the hunting team, local residents, and government authorities. Every action taken was fully legal and carried out under strict supervision. We'd like to extend our sincere thanks to the warm support from the local community and the authorities here. Without you, none of this would have been possible. If you enjoyed the hunt, don't forget to share your thoughts, hit that like button, and subscribe to follow us on our next thrilling adventures. See you next time!
You may have seen hunting videos before, but combining hunting with high-speed motorbike chases brings an entirely new level of adrenaline. This isn't just about speed or skill. It's our way of tackling the invasive menace that is the wild boar, which continues to wreak havoc on our farmlands and the lives of local people. Let the high-octane pursuit begin. After hours of tracking our target using the sharp ears of our hunting dogs, I finally pinpointed it, a massive wild boar hiding deep within a dense cornfield. My instincts told me it would bolt across a nearby dirt road, so I jumped on the motorbike and sped toward the spot. Right on cue, the beast burst out. Without hesitation, I pulled the trigger. The bullet sliced through the air, piercing its thick hide. The boar stumbled, staggered, then collapsed into the earth. Another hunt ended. Meanwhile, Garrick's bike was tearing across the open field in search of another target. There it was, from a distance. He spotted a lone boar desperately fleeing for its life. He hit the brakes, aimed, and fired off several rounds. But the first volley missed. It was just too far. Undeterred, Garrick circled around, cutting off its escape path. This time, with the barrel aimed squarely at its chest. The wild boar had no aim. I, too, was on the move, heading toward Garrett's position through the maze of cornfields. Suddenly, I saw it. A breathtaking chase between a boar and a pack of hunting dogs unfolding right before my eyes. I fired a few shots from a distance, but the boar kept charging. I accelerated, intercepting it just in time. The beast didn't hesitate. It lunged straight at me. Luckily, I managed to get off with a final, decisive shot before it could strike. The threat was neutralized in a blink of time. With multiple takedowns under our belts, both Garrett and I were fired up. Fueled by adrenaline, we raced across the endless fields, chasing any sign of movement. About 10 minutes later, luck returned. Another wild boar suddenly appeared. No time to waste, I raised my gun and fired in a split second. The quick draw worked, and the beast crumpled instantly to the ground. Using motorbikes gave us unmatched mobility, allowing us to adapt quickly and cover a wide variety of terrain. The moment we got word of another boar fleeing, we raced ahead to intercept it on a dirt path cutting through the fields. There it was. As it charged out from the brush, I squeezed off a flurry of shots. Caught off guard, the boar had no chance to react and dropped on the spot. On our way back to regroup with the rest of the team, we suddenly caught sight of a few wild boars attempting to escape. We barely had time to inspect the results when more boars charged our way.
I like it.
Acting on instinct, I surged forward and pulled the trigger. A perfect hit. The boar collapsed before it could react. We went on foot to chase down another boar that had just escaped. Relying on experience, I quickly spotted its location, leveled my gun, and fired several precise shots. The gunfire echoed through the trees, blending with the baying of the hounds, signaling a satisfying conclusion. And there it was. Only a lifeless black shape remained, lying still among the dry leaves. I hadn't planned to go hunting, but the moment I set foot in Transanubia and saw the forest edge fields torn up overnight, the hunter's blood in me instantly boiled. The locals weren't surprised. They were used to preparing their guns every rainy season to go clean up. Seeing my excitement, they simply asked, "You in?" I nodded without hesitation, slung my backpack, shouldered my gun, and joined the team. That morning, the sun was shining. The forest was dense, filled with tangled dry branches. Every step had to be cautious because behind any bush could be open ground, or a 100-kilo wild boar lying in ambush. Luckily, I was with locals, people who knew the forest paths like the back of their hand, understood the prey's habits and the spots they frequented. All I had to do was stick close behind and keep a steady grip on the trigger. There was the first target had appeared. It came charging down a slope, moving fast. I raised my gun without a moment's hesitation. The distance was perfect, and the timing couldn't be better. I took a deep breath and pulled the trigger. As expected, the boar was hit and tumbled down the slope. A smooth start, but when hunting, overconfidence is your worst enemy. While lying in ambush in the bush, I suddenly heard a strike. My heart pounded like it wanted to leap out of my chest. The gun barrel was ready. The moment the boar burst out of bushes, I instinctively pulled the trigger. That surprise encounter sent my adrenaline through the roof. No matter how many hunts I've been on, that feeling never fades. We kept moving and scanning the surrounding area. The barking of the hunting dogs led me to another thick bush. I knew there was another boar hiding in there. The gun was loaded again. When its pointed snout poked out, I didn't hesitate. Bang! A single shot, and it dropped instantly. The path into the bush was tough, requiring careful maneuvering through tight spaces. But when I reached it and saw the massive boar lying still in the grass, I just smiled. Every effort had been worth it. And in the quiet stillness of the late afternoon woods, I once again heard the rustle of dry leaves. A wild boar, no doubt about it. Sure enough, just seconds later, a dark figure appeared. Without hesitation, I raised my gun, aimed, and fired in a split second. The boar dropped on the spot, a satisfying redemption for the frustrating miss earlier. Still not quite satisfied with the day's take, on the way back, I lingered near a small trail cutting through the forest. Who knows? Maybe the final moments would bring another surprise encounter. And sure enough, as if to indulge me, another wild boar appeared. Through the scope, I tracked its every movement. I waited until it stepped into the ideal range. A perfect shot. The boar collapsed right at the roadside. Though today's trip was exhausting and intense, it ended in the most complete and satisfying way possible. Hunting wild boars in Chaparral, California, is no free-for-all. The law here is strict. Hunters must be licensed and may only use legal weapons such as firearms or bows. But even with full compliance, the hunt is no easy task. Boars in this region are cunning, tough, and highly alert. Still, our hunting team headed out, because if we let our guard down for even a day, the boars would be back, wreaking havoc in the city. After discussing our strategy, our team split up, each armed and scanning the brush for any signs of movement. About half an hour into the search, I had my first encounter. A massive wild boar suddenly charged down the slope ahead, crashing through the underbrush directly toward me. With only 4 meters between us, I held my breath, steadied my aim, and pulled the trigger. The first shot staggered it, but tried to turn and flee. I quickly followed up with a second shot, this time a clean kill. Not far off, our hunting dogs had picked up a fresh scent. I followed the sound of barking to find a pair of boars sneaking through the trees. A few quick shots rang out. Startled, the boars bolted uphill. I calmly tracked them through the scope, my view partly blocked by thick branches. But years of hunting had honed my instincts. I waited for the perfect moment, then squeezed the trigger. Another successful takedown. While moving along the mountain's edge toward another section of forest, I encountered yet another giant boar. Boars are smart. They often use patrol paths, game trails, or small dirt roads for easier travel. That's why hunters often find them lurking along forest roads. But unlike deer, they don't cross gently. They rush, giving us only seconds to react. Miss that window and they're gone. After those tense moments, we moved into another stretch of forest where boars often travel in herds. I picked a high, rocky outcrop for a better vantage point and waited. Sure enough, a group of more than 10 boars came charging through my line of sight. Excited, I leveled my gun and fired a few quick shots. But unfortunately, none found their mark. The herd vanished behind a hill in a cloud of dust, leaving only shaking leaves and a trail of broken branches. Not long after, I spotted a lone boar wandering across an open patch. My gunshot startled it, and the boar shot forward like an arrow, weaving through the bushes. These clever animals rarely run in a straight line, darting in and out of the brush, making it tough to track and shoot. Not every shot will land, and you just have to accept it. As the sun began to dip, our hunt continued. We shifted into flatter, lower terrain. Suddenly, we heard snorting from within the dry shrubs. I could tell a boar was very close. Unaware of the danger, the boar trotted across my line of fire. I held my breath, released the arrow. It struck cleanly in the head. The animal collapsed instantly.
A giant wild boar, the ruler of Russia's deep forests. Can it really be taken down? With With its superior strength, incredible speed, and fierce nature, it has become a nightmare for the Russian people.
However,
with special hunting tactics, we'll reveal how to hunt it down with ease.
This intense confrontation
is sure to keep your eyes glued to the screen. Join us and witness how we conquer this beast. In Russia, the wild boar population is estimated to have increased by over 300% in the past 2 decades, causing severe environmental damage.
In the past,
wild boars in Russia were hunted by wolves and brown bears.
However,
due to excessive hunting and habitat changes, the number of these predators has significantly declined, allowing the boar population to thrive. The brutal winter blankets Russia in ice and snow, but this is the ideal time to hunt wild boars. As the biting cold makes food scarce, the boars are forced to leave their hiding places, creating the perfect hunting opportunity. Despite the freezing temperatures, we cannot afford to delay. Wild boars reproduce rapidly, destroy crops, and are becoming increasingly aggressive. Signals from our hunting dogs, we spot a lone boar trying to escape.
I tighten my grip on my weapon,
carefully take aim, and with a single shot, the boar goes down.
Another herd
of wild boars dashes away at an incredible speed.
It's only a
fleeting moment, but with years of hunting experience, I quickly take down the leader.
We continue
chasing and taking down several more boars.
However, to our surprise, the wild boar population in this area remains overwhelming.
However, to our surprise, the wild boar population in this area remains overwhelming.
Disturbed soil, deep hoof prints.
As we venture deeper into the forest, wild boar tracks become evident. Disturbed soil, deep hoof prints.
Out to search.
A giant wild boar, the ruler of Russia.
No sign of the target. At the 20-minute mark, a signal comes from a teammate. We found it. I quickly close in and fire, taking the boar down instantly.
With special hunting tactics. But we don't stop there. Soon, we spot another boar in the distance. Before I can even reload, a gunshot rings out. My friend has made a perfect shot, hitting the target dead on. What a skilled hunter.
We spot another boar in the distance.
This hunt is shaping up to be more thrilling than we expected.
Gunshot rings out. My friend has made a perfect shot, hitting the target dead on. What a skilled hunter. This hunt is shaping up to be more thrilling than we expected. Moving towards the forest's edge, where the trees grow sparse and bare, dozens of wild boars suddenly burst into a sprint. Gunshots echo, but the boars are incredibly swift, making them difficult to hit. In the end, we can only watch in frustration as they disappear into the distance. However, our efforts have not been in vain. disoriented boar unknowingly dashes right past me. Without hesitation, I pull the trigger, 2 decisive shots. The beast collapses on the spot. This time, I proceed with caution. A large, well-fed wild boar stands just a short distance away. Not wasting the opportunity, I steady my aim. A clean shot, it goes down instantly. Right then, my teammates train their guns on the remaining boars together to take down more targets. On our way down a mountain, we unexpectedly encounter a massive herd of wild boars. These creatures, all of impressive size, are leisurely searching for food. Overcome with excitement, we immediately stop to hunt. Once we find a suitable ambush spot, I raise my rifle and take aim at one of the boars. Its size presents a real challenge, but after several shots, I finally take it down. Oh my God, look at what I just took down. This beast must weigh at least 200 kilograms. These little victories, no matter how small, are what keep us going.